And hello once again, students. Welcome back to CSC 151 Computer Applications. In this video, we'll be going over the difference between a relative reference and an absolute reference. So, we've done references before here, and I'm just going to use a sum equation just for the sake of making this less amount of code. I'm going to pick sum, start with my start point. So I'm going to make a range, so I'll pick, B2, and I'll put a colon, and that goes down to B10. So there we go, I have a sum of the entirety of 1 through 9. Anyone that knows triangular numbers, or is really fond of Sudoku, knows that the sum of the digits 1 through 9 is 45. So, there we go. And you'll see I got 45. Now, as always, there's this little tiny thing right down here. I believe in a previous video I called it something like the auto format, auto copy and paste. That's not the actual name. The actual name involves the word handle or whatever. I can't remember what it is, but basically that little tiny box in the bottom of a cell. If you click and drag, it'll copy and paste any formulas, any formats, anything. It'll copy and paste it all and move it down. So in theory, if I do that, if I copy and paste this cell, or even if I just do it the typical normal way of, Control-C and, then Control-V, in theory, I should have a 40... Wait a minute, he says as he knew this was going to happen. What's going on? Let me just deselect all that with Command-D, and let me just instead use the copy and paste instead. Let's do that. Let's do the little handle. Let's do drag down. Whoop. But that doesn't make any sense. If it copy and pastes it, why is it going and changing every single time? So, a normal reference, also known as a relative reference, does not actually remember the cells. It remembers the position of the cells relative to the equation. So right now, this cell B2 is 1, 2, 3 to the left. And this cell B10 is 1, 2, 3 to the left, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down. And if you'll notice, if I just pick a random cell over here, oh look, it's still 1, 2, 3 to the left, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down. And I can do the same thing, so if I wanted to, let me copy this guy, copy, and I don't know, I'll paste you. You're a 0 because you're 1, 2, 3 across, and still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down. The position keeps changing, but the space relative to the equation is what's staying the same. If I don't want that, if I want it to always remember, so if I want it to remember this cell and make sure it remembers this cell, I have to do something different. I have to do what is known as an absolute reference. So I'll still use a sum statement, and here's where things get a little bit different, okay? Because there's only one symbol I need to change this. That symbol being the $sign. So if I do $B, $2, what that is telling me is remember the column. So remember B. B is not going to change. And then remember 2. 2 is not going to change. The row is never changing. So ergo, B2 will always stay the same. And I'll use another colon because I'm going to make this a range. And I'll do the same thing with B10 here. So $B, $10. Close that out, and there it is. 45, just like this one, but the difference being, when I move this guy down, boop, it's always 45. Doesn't matter if I'm right here, the cells remain the same. Doesn't matter if I'm right here, the cells remain the same. Doesn't matter if I copy and paste this all the way down to, down here, boom. The cells, B2 and B10, will always remain the same. And of course, as always, do not click when you're inside an equation, so Command Z to undo, always hit Enter, or if Enter gives you some sort of break or some sort of thing where it winds up saying, hey, I can't do this code is so mangled, it's going to break the system, hit Escape. So, that's how that works. That's the difference between a relative, equation and a absolute equation. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Don't click outside of it while you're inside this equation. Hit Enter. As you can tell, I have to remind myself this. It's the difference between a relative reference and an absolute reference. And of course, we can mix and match this all we want. If I want to do something like equals, $, B10, oops, $B, $10, plus, B4, it'll remember the 9, but that 3 will change. So if I copy and paste this, you'll notice the 9 stay the same, but the 3 is now a 4. If I copy and, paste this over here, the 9 stays the same, but the 3 moved. So on and so forth. So you can mix and match. You can mix and match the absolutes and normal relative references. You can mix and match them in the same equation just as well. But now you know the difference between the two and what they're for. And that concludes this video. In the next one, we're actually going to go into actual formulas outside of just, the sums I've already used. So, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.